Good morning, viewers. Welcome back to another episode of the Kay-Steph Group Morning Show. I am your host with the most, Naya Anozie, aka Naya of the Budge. And on this show, we share expert insights on real estate matters, whether you're buying, selling, or investing. We break down market trends, we share valuable tips, and help you make smart property decisions. On the show with me today is a realtor who is pretty good at following up on clients. And today she's going to be sharing with us some tips on how to follow up on clients. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Tochi Izzy. You're welcome to the show, Tochi.
Thank you.
You look amazing. I love your hair.
I love your hair too. You look stunning.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so let's just get straight to it. So, being a realtor, I know it comes with some responsibilities,
Definitely.
right? Yeah. You talk about communication, you talk about sales and marketing, and then you talk about follow-up. So, talking about follow-up, how would you say is the best way to follow up on clients as a realtor with your experience, of course?
Okay, the act of follow-up is very broad, and follow-up is important to for you to close a deal. Just like, okay, as a salesperson, you run your ad, you meet clients, or once you go out on an outdoor event, you meet people, and the contacts you get from the people, they are called the leads. They are not your clients at that particular time. So when you get the contacts, the leads as we call it, so you actually start making, that's where your follow-up starts. You start reaching out to your clients, the numbers, start calling the prospects to hear from them. So then whoever one that is interested in your product, you filter them, you filter them out, and the ones that are not ready to buy at that particular moment, you keep them. Because in real estate, we also have because of this your follow-up, we still have the wishers and the buyers. The wishers are the ones that wants to buy in the future. Okay. And why we have the buyers, and the buyers are the people you concentrate on, because these are the people that give you income, that make an inflow in your bank account. So you actually reach out to them. So and that in the follow-up, when you reach out to your client, they are still your prospect, and then your clients. They can only be your clients once they bought your product. That is when they are your clients. At that particular time, they are your prospects. So you actually reach out to them, and when it comes to follow-up, the two important things in follow-up is timing and persistence. You have to be persistent in follow-up if you want a great fortune in sales. And making a great fortune in sales, you actually reach out to your clients and call them. Then whoever one that gives a positive feedback that wants to invest in your product, you continue reaching out to them. When they come to see your product and convert this, that is where they become your client. And in follow-up too, you don't take rejection or silence for an answer. Okay. You don't, because you might call a client and the client is not picking up your call. Yeah. You will then realize
the person might not be interested.
Or the person might see me as I'm disturbing him or her. You don't think for them. Okay. You have to be persistent. You have to reach out to them. And why you need to reach out to them, you need two answers, either answer or closure. That's why you are meant to still keep reaching out to them until probably the client tells you, okay, I'm interested. That's an answer. Maybe the client will also tell you, okay, I'm not ready now. Okay. These are the answer and closure you need. In this tools of follow-up, it's just like a race. You see some people that would probably reach out to a client like 2 times, the client, or 3 times, the client is not actually picking you. You actually assume that the client is not interested and all that. You don't. You keep on doing your follow-up. Most of the clients, they are busy. It's not that they're not seeing your calls. They are seeing your calls. You just need to be putting yourself out there for them to see you, for them to actually have you in mind, so that tomorrow, if they are in need of the property, they would actually easily reach out to you. If they are not interested, probably they are family member or loved one interested to get the property, you will be the first person coming into their mind, and they will reach out to you. Showing on their faces all the time creates opportunity, but following up gives it that opportunity. Because definitely, as you're actually showing in their faces, you're going to see a client often in his office. It creates that opportunity, and with a good follow-up, your opportunity is definitely yours, because in our industry we have many people. The competition is very high. You're not the only realtor out there, so you showing up, you being on their faces, you stand a better chance in closing a better deal. And secondly, too, attention. You need to get your client's attention, your prospect attention. So once you get your prospect attention, you actually need to get their attention too, so that they could listen to you, so that they could know what your product is all about. Once you get their attention, after the attention, you get their commitment. When they have committed, that is where you leave the interest. The commitment is something that is very important there too. And also, you don't just relax and you don't just feel reluctant in following up, because you're not making a good follow-up. It's actually so that you're not ready for their money. Yes, now you're actually not ready for their money.
Yes.
It's once you do a good follow-up, then because definitely what you want is in their hand, which is the money.
And what they want is also in your hand.
Yes, because you're actually selling value. So definitely you need to push. You need to make a good follow-up for you to get what you want, and which is the money. The greatest weakness in a person is forgetfulness. Once you forget your clients, they will definitely forget you. So that's why you need to follow up on them very well, so that they will not forget you. That's why the follow up, you follow up either like five or more times for you to make a deal. You just have to have fun while making a good follow up.
So you're more or less building a relationship with this person.
Yes,
so that person doesn't just see you
actually making fun. Like sometimes when you keep making a follow up and the client is not responding, the client is adamant, you as a person, it actually gets you. You feel like all your effort is not working. So you just have to make it fun, as a fun game. Just play around it. Lastly, making a good follow up, like being on your prospect faces and doing a good follow up, creates familiarity with your clients. A good familiarity with your client, and from familiarity it creates confidence, and confidence is treated as competence and cash flow, and definitely that is where you make a good fortune in sales. Once you're familiar with your friends, with your clients or prospects rather. Once you're familiar with them, once you're on their faces with a good follow-up, sometimes you just see a client who just want to buy from you because of your persistence. But persistence actually creates a favorable time, because once your persistence keep calling up, keeping touch with a prospect, just because of your persistence, the client will just let me just buy from you because of your persistence and resilience. You get, so that's just the thing. So in real estate, for you to make a great fortune in sales, you need to be persistent, and time is needed. A good sales is persistence and time. These are the two keys for good follow-up.
Wow. Actually very, very broad. Thinking about you just think that follow-up is okay. You meet a prospect and you tell them I want this, and then the person says no, you now fall out because you feel like the person is not interested. So you see that you have to be persistent, you have to be dogged before if you want to make good sales in real estate. So I hear you say generating leads. So so far, what marketing channels has worked for you for generating? Would you say social media or referrals or networking, something else? What marketing channel has worked for you best?
Well, I would to me it's just the social media is a very large place where you could get people, because in the industry and nobody goes out to do this offline marketing. So social media has a very big space where you meet people, you put out your product out there and people reach out to you. And secondly, referrals too. Referral is very good. Like you will not even stress yourself, because the person is buying based on the trust of you have loved ones.
Yes.
That's just the thing there.
Okay. You see, you hear it now. You're a realtor, and you feel like following up on clients has been a struggle for you. Now you know that you need to be consistent, you need to be dogged, and you need to be resilient before you're able to close deals on real estate. And social media is a good space for you to market your products. Also referrals, and how you can build referrals is when you've created a relationship between you and your client, and then you've built trust. That client in turn can then refer people to you, which is very important and helps you in real estate. Thank you so much, Tochi, for that very powerful insight.
Thank
it was
you.
so amazing having you on the show today. We hope to see you again sometime.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the K-Steph Group Morning Show. I remain your host, Naya Anozie, aka Naya of the Bush. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, share, and comment on this video if you have questions regarding this. If you haven't followed us on any of our social media platforms, do well to do so. And thank you so much for joining us. See you here, same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.